today I'm going to be making green super duper Coca-Cola flavored cake bits. I don't like Coca-Cola, but I'm sure my children will eat it, and it's a new flavor, and I like to buy anything that's a new flavor and taste test it because it's fun. Why not? So let's open it up and see what we've got in the packet. Do you like my top? I got it from the op shop to wear to the gym. So I was pretty excited to find that. I always get excited when I find fitness wear at the op shop because it's expensive and I get excited. And I've got some shorts and a couple of t-shirts and things. So I am looking forward to getting to the gym next week. Okay, so we've got that's our cake mix. That's our icing sugar. And we've got these little fluffy things to stick on top of the icing sugar. So I'm assuming maybe they taste like Coke or they're fizzy to give you that Coca-Cola flavour. So now I'm going to set up to make the mix. So for this recipe, we need 1 egg, some oil, some water, and the cake mix. And since I'm not going food shopping until tomorrow, I don't have any oil. So I've put in the egg, the water, and some margarine because that was just gonna have to do. And I just guessed. I had to move house. I'm a little bit disorganized at the moment, and I literally just some of that icing powder. Oh my god! I opened the wrong one. I was so busy talking, I opened the icing powder and it like shot up into my mouth, and it tasted like Coca-Cola. So we're going to open the cake mix and pop the cake mix into this nice big bowl, and then we're going to give that a mix. And I didn't melt the butter, the margarine before I put it in, just shoved it in there. I will just break that down with pure muscle powder instead of muscle power, not muscle powder. It's been a rough month, that's all I can say. So we're going to mix those up, and then I'm going to pop them into the... No, I'm not going to pop them into the oven. It's like an idiot. I'm going to have to edit this. I'm going to mix this up, and then I think perhaps we roll them and pop them in the freezer. No, that's not right. So I'm going to mix this up, and then I think we roll them up into little cake balls and pop them in the fridge. I'm pretty sure I haven't read the instructions yet. That's the way that I like to bake. My kids always tease me and say, Lorelle's rough as guts kitchen. But how cool would it be to be on like the Great Australian Bake Off or something like that? That would be pretty cool. I've done the Chase. I went on the Chase Australia. That was fun, but that was only for like a couple of days. Like I went down the night before. I had to get up at 6 a.m. and I stayed near the studio. My friend, he took me to the studio and he drove me there, which I really appreciated because I don't want to drive in the city and I didn't want to have to catch a train. But I do like trains, but I didn't feel like catching a train at this particular time, so I was happy to get a lift because I hadn't travelled for years, like being at home with the kids and being a carer. You know, the more children you have, it's hard to leave them, especially when you've got to be giving up medication and everything all the time. I'd just rather stay home. And so I was really anxious and nervous about getting on a train for the first time in years. But after that, I ended up catching the train and going away to a few places, and you know, I was fine. Yeah, so I did the Chase, and that was just literally 3 days. But if you did like the Great Australian Bake Off or something, that would be like weeks out of your life. So apparently you are supposed to cook the cake, and then you pull it out and you crumple it all up, and then you make little cake balls. And I just think that's absolutely disgusting. Like, we made a YouTube video, which we haven't posted yet, we've just started a YouTube channel, and we made like a Halloween video, and we did like Golden Gay Time cake balls, and we cooked the cake, and then we crunched it all up, and you mix the icing through it, and then we made them like into little monsters and stuff, little eyeballs on them and stuff. But you know, we made them and then we stuck them in the freezer. We meant to put them in the fridge, but my boyfriend stuck them in the freezer because you can put them in the freezer for like an hour or fridge for 2 hours. And he stuck them in the freezer, and then we forgot about them, and then he got a cold, and then he gave it to me, and I forgot to go pick them up, and they've been in the freezer for like a week, and I'm like, I'm not eating them now, they're gonna freezer burn, that's disgusting. So we wasted them, we didn't even get to eat them. But I'm just gonna make a normal cake out of this one and make sure that everyone gets to eat it. I have got this cake pan, which I don't like because I like the ones where you can spring them open, or the silicone ones, because I'm really good at burning everything. But I've got to make do with this. So we'll pop this in and then we will ice it once it's all out. So it turns out that the cake was involved in a tragic accident. You know how I sell like pans where you can just pull the cake out and flip it out and it's easy? Well, there's a reason for that. So basically I pulled the cake out of the pan and half of it was still stuck to the bottom of the pan. So we are now having cake balls instead of a cake. So after having an accident with the cake, I rolled them into cake balls and they feel disgusting. I hate the texture of it. And my boyfriend was messaging me while I was doing that and fiddling with the phone, and I forgot to keep half of the icing mixture to pour on top of the balls like they show here, and it's all in there. So now I'm just going to stick these on top, and it is what it is. I got distracted. It happens. So somehow I've got to try and make these stick even though I don't have any icing. You know what? I'm just going to roll them in this, and then that will have to do. Pop them in the freezer for an hour and then see how they look and taste. So I decided to brush these in a little bit of milk to make those things stick on because they have gone dry. So I just brush a bit of milk to... So I think these actually look like some type of turd covered in styrofoam. I don't know if I want to eat them. Okay, so it's after dinner and I'm about to try this cola ball. It's actually not that bad. Tastes very doughy. Tastes a bit like reminds me of like a ginger. It actually tastes like a ginger thing that you would eat at Christmas time. It's very sugary. Yeah, it kind of tastes of cola. It's not that bad. The kids ate them. Didn't love them, but they didn't mind them either, so